This week, the Confederates take war crime to a whole new level when they make Union prisoners of war strip naked and then march from Arkansas to Texas in that swampy heat sunburn hellscape. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me as always is my very best friend, Prospector Johnny. And Johnny, let's
how nice. That's
power
nice.
through this week real
That's
quick.
A nice little intro.
It's
you
not.
Never call me your very best friend. On
You are my very best friend, and this is
nice.
an awkward
Is it because
week.
it's a bad week?
It's an awkward week.
It's because it's not. It's a bad week.
It's an awkward week.
Okay.
We're gonna open
Thanks
up
for
with some more
buttering me up.
skirmishing. Johnny, open up more skirmishing on the 22nd on the Red River. Also, while we're skirmishing on
I
the
thought
Red
you
River,
said that it was winding down, but it still hasn't wound down all the way yet.
No, yeah, we're still they're still going back to the
Still
original
winding
and they're
down.
Still, the Union's retreating, and then the Confederates are kind of like taking pop shots while we're doing that.
Yeah.
Also, on the 22nd, while the whole Civil War is raging, U.S. Congress decides to start stamping "In God We Trust" on coins
Wait, what?
for fucking reasons.
Hold up,
Yeah,
Tommy.
separation between church and state. Yeah, that whole thing.
Do we not have that?
I guess not, because it's now stamped on our
Whose God?
coinage.
Which God?
I don't know.
The God of the people who we ran off this land? That one?
Maybe.
Probably.
Probably not the Roman gods. Although we do put Latin
would
on our shit a
seem-
lot, so maybe it is the Roman gods.
Maybe it is.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't
Greek
know.
gods?
Maybe it is.
Hindu?
Maybe.
Perhaps?
All right, Johnny. Trader President Davis is going to send orders to General.
Maybe we can send a letter and find out. Can we check in on that?
We'll check in on that. I'll get back with you next week.
Okay.
Johnny,
Thank
Trader
you.
President Davis is going to send orders to General Polk in Alabama stating, and I quote here, these are his words, not mine. If
This
the-
is whose words?
Trader President Davis to General
T.B.
Polk.
Davis's words. Talking
Yes.
to his General Polk.
Yes. If the Negro soldiers captured or escaped slaves, they should be held safely for recovery by their owners. Otherwise, inform me. I don't know why he wants to be informed if they're not slaves. I don't know if that means execute them. I don't know if that means give them to me so I can have them as my slaves. Like, I don't know what that means. But that's his
Inform
orders
me?
to Polk.
Like what?
Yeah,
So he
inform
want
me.
every single time,
A free man of color is captured that's not a slave.
every one of them, he wants to
be
be
informed.
notified.
Yes.
This is not an easy process. Like
Uh-uh.
this is to notify him.
Telegraphs, handwritten notes. None of it's easy.
And
And no idea
are
for what.
they okay?
No, I got no answers for you, Johnny. On the 23rd, we have a
right,
small
well-
battle at Munnet's Ferry, where Confederate forces underneath Brigadier General Hamilton B are going to try to block Union forces underneath Brigadier General William Emory. Confederate Major General Taylor is attempting to trap Banks's forces as he's retreating from the Red River campaign. Luckily, Emory sees the trap, sees the outlet, and then he assaults B's forces and forces B to retreat, and Banks avoids Taylor's trap, and Banks' forces are saved, and then he gets back home without any further issue.
Okay, is it who won?
We did. Boys and
Hey.
girls.
Okay, great. Good job.
We got a victory. On the 24th, there's going to be a minor skirmish in Arkansas near Camden. On the 25th, we're going to see the Arkansas fighting continue at the Battle of Marks Mills when a column of 1,800 Union forces are going to be ambushed by 8,000 Confederate forces.
Oh, that's not
Great. Those numbers are not on our
That
side.
is slanted.
So, Lieutenant Colonel Drake is commanding a wagon train of supplies, equipment, all that fun stuff. They are a part of Steele's army that was supposed to reinforce Banks's army on the Red River campaign. They don't make it there. That's partly why Banks retreats. And now
It's
Steele's
lower
retreat.
numbers of soldier, but higher number of supplies than you would typically see marching. Is that what I'm?
I know, not
understanding?
necessarily, but they're like this is like a rear guard that's in charge of like the supplies. Think of it that way.
It's all right. So it's the tail end of,
Sure,
of what
yeah.
would be a larger
Yeah.
march.
Union forces underneath Lieutenant Colonel Drake are going to be surrounded, and after about a 4-hour fight, between 1,113 to 1,600 are going to be killed, wounded, or captured, with a few hundred escaping of that original 1,800. We don't have the specific numbers,
That's like
and I'll get to that
nearly
why here in a
everybody.
second.
That's a lot of folk, though.
It's the majority of that column is captured, yes, or killed. In those numbers, we have 150 what we call contraband. Again, not my words for these people. These are men of color that were slaves or escaped slaves or free men of color that follow Union armies around. We tend to call them contraband. This goes all the way back to the beginning of the war, where if we called them contraband, that meant that they were materials of war and are not subject to being returned to proper ownership, because we're allowed to take property from people who are at war with us.
Yeah. Right. And that's the only reason. It's not because we all saw men of color as property. It's
no,
not because
I don't see them that way. But this is how we.
No, and the North didn't. Nobody in the North did. So
well, there are a few states.
Oh, were there? Well,
yeah.
Also,
there's 4 to be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody was real.
We're gonna gloss over those facts there, Johnny.
Sure. No,
an additional 100,
ignoring the contraband, which were live human beings.
100 additional contraband men of color are going to be killed. Now, some reports say that was post-surrender. Some reports say that was partially pre-surrender. But there is definitely reports. All the reports agree. All the reports agree. Some of them were definitely killed post-surrender. But how many is up for debate.
So the report came out. They said, "Hey, you murdered these men after they surrendered," and they're like, "No, don't be ridiculous. We didn't murder all of them after surrender."
Some of them just
that was their
defense. That was their defense.
That's their defense. If that's your defense, you don't have a very good argument.
Johnny, this buckle up. This gets worse. Reports were that there was not respect given to the rank of officers captured. But I do argue this point because allegedly...
Wait, why do they need... Wait, I'm sorry. Are you supposed to give more respect to officers captured?
Yes, yeah.
I would treat officers more poorly.
Well, Johnny, I'm an officer. I mean, I'm the lowest officer you can be.
And if I were
I'm the
fighting
lowest
against
officer you can
you,
be,
I would
officer.
capture you and I would treat you more poorly.
Oh.
Like what?
I get treated poorly by officers, and I get treated poorly by non-officers.
I'm sorry. Oh no, officers get better bedding, they get better housing, they get better everything,
for everything,
food, all
Johnny.
that shit. Ooh.
But I don't get paid as much as a general.
And hey, when's the last time you've been on the front line, Tommy? Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Remember, I caught.
So I would. Why are they treating them better?
Hold on. Remember, last year I took shrapnel to the neck when I watched a cannon explode that we were testing.
That's true. Yeah. That's not.
That was very scary.
I
almost died.
Almost. On your own accord.
Not on my accord. I didn't pull that lanyard. I just happened to be there when we were testing it. It's part of my job. I should have gotten way more money from the government for that because I was a work-related injury.
I mean, no, that's on you. You got to have a better lawyer.
Yeah, that is on me. Anyways, Johnny, back to the captured soldiers. We're getting sidetracked.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry. So, reports are that a large contingent of these prisoners, Johnny, wait for it. It's going to make you. This is the thing. They get stripped naked and forced to march from Arkansas to Tyler, Texas, where they are imprisoned at Camp Ford.
What's that first part?
They're stripped naked, completely naked.
Why?
Because I guess the Confederates are bored. Maybe we wouldn't run if we were naked? No idea.
Why would you not run if you're naked?
The captain of the 43rd Indiana, who's an elderly man, he was not forced to strip naked, but they did take his hat from him, and he was bald, and so he did get a sunburn on his scalp, which is bad, but not as bad as sunburns on other exposed places.
All right, so he was old enough that they didn't want to watch his dingles dangle.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case, yeah.
Is what was going on. But everybody else are like, hey, maybe you.
March naked. It seems like there might be something else going on with these Confederates, is all I'm saying.
No, whoever gave these orders has some sort of perversion about his mind that is...
Yep.
Of a demonic nature, I would argue at this point in time.
That seems like torture.
And maybe he should, I don't know, look
face charges
and stop
doing that,
acting in any sort of capacity of leadership.
$175,000, Johnny, of greenbacks are in those wagons that are stolen from Drake's forces. These funds are going to fall into the rebel hands, and then, spoiler alert, later the rebels are going to attempt to buy back prisoners of war from Chicago But again, Grant said that's not happening without a 1-for-1 exchange. So that
Yeah, it's a 1-to-1 thing. No,
you're like, you can't pay for
set our rates.
you can't pay for those prisoners with money you stole from us. That's stupid. Stop it. On the 26th,
I mean that really is that's it's stealing from a pawn shop
and then trying
and
to
then
pawn the
going
money
back to the pawn
Yeah.
shop and
trying
trying
to buy
to sell
stuff with
them
the stolen
back.
money. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the things
yeah.
that you. Sorry, I've got like the sun's setting, and so we've got a whole thing going on.
We got it, Johnny. We'll power through 2 more days. We're almost there. 2 more days.
It's got to be quick because I'm about to be blind.
On the 26th, skirmishes are going to continue around Alexandria, Louisiana, as Banks' forces are arriving from their retreat from the Red River. The gunboats that were accompanying them have actually got trapped on the Red River because the water levels have shrunk so far that they can't.
That's not great.
Get back, which isn't great. Trader President Davis is going to order Jacob Thomas to proceed to Canada as a special commissioner on the 27th. Unofficially, this is an attempt to see if Thomas can find help in Canada to attempt to negotiate peace between the United States and the Confederate States. The only peace we're going to accept is a complete and total surrender, and you reincorporate it into the United States. Like that's going to be that's it.
We have laid out our demands. I feel
pretty
clearly.
And the week, Johnny's going to end with us being bored and shelling Fort Sumter because why not?
Oh, good. I'm glad that we have not forgotten that Fort Sumter is still has some
troops on
piles of rocks standing.
That we can shoot. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight. We do all kinds of fun things. We've got all kinds of long format videos that go all the way back 4 years. Check out, the older stuff's production value is not the greatest, but check it out because there's a lot of fun information there. And then check out our shorts. We've got, every short I have ever done is at least moderately entertaining.